Previously on the Farmers of Thought show.
I would like to bring a very simplistic way of understanding nature as we have it, to build our own Ubuntu in Intel. That beginnings are formations of where we started. What is it that we see?
Mara, Chigarambok, Kugaramashambahud. Down south, in the land, the black bees, and endangered species.
The Corridors of Time 2020. Here from Farmers of Thought down south. Welcome one, welcome all.
We are not for sale.
Welcome one more time here on One and All, Maponga J, live from Farmers of Thought. Here we're developing our patterns of thinking, cultivating and sweeping our corridors of thinking, building a generation and connecting them to the treasures of ancient times, and commonly known as the Watcher, who is living and coming to you from the past, living with you in the present, with solutions from the future. I would want to again make an appeal to the greater community of those that have gone in through the religious preparation, particularly Christianity as a model of worship and religion. That the more we are growing up, we need to start learning, firstly, how do we contextualize the text itself so that it can begin to speak to our African issues, from colonization to religious, colonization to economics, and so that our gospel can begin to address indeed the concept of I've come to set the captives free. After we have conversed and discussed the issue of contextualization, we needed to move one step further into what we call enculturation. How does this gospel begin to speak to our cultures? How does it speak to our cultures? Because you understand, we're supposed to understand that when the gospel arrives, part of the transformation is a transformation of the spiritual self, or is the transformation of the physical self into looking like the other. And usually the problem is that the colonizer is the one who has the fashion, the music, and the expression. And thirdly, after we have broken down to enculturation, finding the culture of the gospel within our own environments, the third level is how do we indigenize that gospel? How do we make that gospel, therefore sing local songs, drink local food, and drink and dance to local beats and rhythms, and look like us, feel like us. Therefore, the gospel cannot be a potted plant that is protected by Euro-colonial mindsets. We needed to move this gospel, totally break the ground and allow it to sit deep into the grounds of the African, so that when it grows and bears forth fruit, the fruit can be that which is local. And ultimately, after we have argued the whole concept of placing interpretation of this text, after enculturation, the last one, we needed to start a whole new translation of actually finding ourselves as part of the text. And some of you who could have been reading the past few days, I've put up, I think, about 4, 5, 6 articles on my Facebook page where I'm discussing, is it possible that we can have another form of interpretation into apocalyptic literature? This was speaking to the preterists, the futurists, the dispensationalists, and the historicists. And in the midst of all this, can we also accommodate the pastoral and the political interpretations of the same scripts? And right now, as I'm reading this morning, I did the book of Daniel chapter 1, where we're looking at how to colonize the people, how to surround them and siege them. Not only siege them, how to change their names, how to change their fashion, how to change their gods, how to change their geography, and how to change their diet, and how all these things at the end actually give you the recipe of how the African child was colonized. So I suggest that even if you're supposed to use your Bible for the greatest part that you believe that you're a Christian, but please start considering that there are other interpretations to this same text, as much as their interpretations as given by your own form of religious inclination. So please keep your mind and keep the doors of learning open as wide as possible, to accommodate extra, to accommodate present, to accommodate future and relevant interpretations. From me, the Watcher from the future, living with you in the present, with solutions from the past. Maponga J, Farmers of Thought. Chigaramboko, Garabashamba Huda. chigwe chitedza chinobugwa nawana mangu ari pedo vanotamba nacho vanomushamba negore chigara matanda chigara mawe matanda anovora.
Maponga photography.